Hello everyone! Welcome to the 40th episode of The Ruins of Warsaw. I'm Alexandra and I'm the Storyteller.
Hi, I'm Dolores and I'm playing Janina of Clan Bruja.
Hi, my name is Faye and I'm playing Beatrice Wozniak of Clan Malkavian.
And as always, we have partners with us taking care of our tech and managing the chat, for which we are very grateful. Thank you all so much for joining us after this unexpected another longer break. We thought we were back to regular schedule, but life had other plans and we had some health issues to take care of, but we're all okay now and ready to get back to our story. So let's start with a recap of what happened last time when we thought we were back from the summer break for good. We started a night after the execution of Malkavian Bruno. When Janina woke up, sleeping on the floor with Nastya, another Bruja she seems somewhat interested in romantically. But nothing happened as they talked after waking up. Bea woke up from a nightmare to find Felicia holding her and also crying and shaking in pain. And both Kindred, together with Nastya and Felicia, eventually made their way to Elysium. Bea was approached by the other primogen, Mihail Orwolf, who reminded her not to use her gifts while in the Elysium, even though he understood, or so he said, that she did it with good intentions. She also consoled Rahela, the child of executed Bruno, who was there alone and devastated after her closest friend, Tremere Eliza, was taken away somewhere by Edwin Sarnowski, who seems to be acting in charge of Tremere right now as the primogen. Janina tried to focus on her research Nastya was helping her in, didn't maybe do much progress when it came to research, but spent some quality time with Nastya. She was also summoned to speak to the prince, who, together with Zygmunt, the Bruja primogen, asked her to go procure some blood for the injured kindred of the Camarilla, since when Janina was first introduced to the prince, she declared that she had contacts that would allow her to provide it. Before she left, both her and Bea spoke to Abelard, sire of Mara, and Dominic, a Nosferatu ballet dancer who appears to have been kidnapped by the Sabbat. They shared some of the information on the house of Azimishi they visited, and they believe Dominic to be held there. They agreed to help Abelard and the sheriff, who also wants to find Dominic, his lover. But for now, Abelard went to have a look around the place and see what he can see for himself and what he can find out. Janina left with Nastya to try to steal some blood. Bea was approached by Joachim, another Tremere, the child of Edwin, who first showed her something he discovered during his task that consisted of going through the hotel to, with his gifts of Auspex, reconstruct what happened during the Sabbat attack. He showed her someone whom Bea recognized as a Malkavian from Sabbat, pretending to be Bea while she murdered a random mortal man. Bea later helped Joachim reconstruct some of the events of what happened in the hotel, witnessing Florian, Sabbat priest, finding the prince and subsequently being fought off quite easily by the Bruja Primogen, and witnessing another Zimishi, Zimovit, the same one who killed her friend Mara, severely injure Antoni Deventruhan until he fell into torpor, and Leonard, the Malkavian, behind Janina and Mara once rescued, rushing to help. Something Leonard did triggered some already intense emotions in Bea, driving her into frenzy. While Janina, with Nastya, managed to break into the hospital, but Janina had a bit of a change of heart and stopped short of taking much blood, not wanting to leave the hospital and patients who might need it without the necessary supply. And she continued with Nastya, who seemed worried for her and confused by this course of action. And they left to try to get a bit more blood from another hospital. And we will start with Janina. As you arrive with Nastya, and the hospital you knew about, you see, you're standing in front of the door, you see the sign proclaiming it to be City Hospital number 8. It is located not far from the Vistula River and not very far from Hotel Bristol. So it should be easy for you to get back before sunrise. You're standing in front of a long, rectangular 3-story building. Its grey walls are blending into the darkness of the night and rather gloomy atmosphere of this November night. You feel like you may have been to this place before. You definitely heard about it in your mortal days. You know, some of the doctors and nurses like you were involved with the resistance against the Nazis here. But now hospital is functioning as just regular state hospital. You're in front of a building. Nastya is looking to you, asking, all right, we're here.
Okay. Do you want to try the same trick as before? Just pretend that we are here to work?
We could do that, but do you know where to go?
Well, the truth is, no. I have been here before, but that was a long time ago, and I don't think I remember exactly where to go. But maybe we could find a map, or we could say we are the new help and we don't know where things are, and maybe the main nurse could point us where to go.
Oh.
But we might need to pretend to actually work there for a bit before we could,
I don't think we have that much time.
So what do you suggest?
I don't know, maybe we could just ask somebody, try to pretend, but without the working for the moment part.
Okay, let's try it, but I will let you do the talking, and I will
I don't think that's a very good idea. I don't know anything about medicine.
Okay, then let's just try it together.
You see that she is kind of... She feels bad saying it, but also feels like very confused about what she could even say.
It's okay. I will just go. Let's just go inside and let's try and get lucky.
And you start walking inside, just to give you some sort of insight into what Janina might have known that you don't know.
Yes, please.
No, I think, well, one thing you could try to do is to just wander around for a bit and try to, through Janina's experience of working at various institutions, figure out where to go. But the place might be locked again, so you would have to either steal a key, persuade someone to open it, or break in. You also
sounds the most easiest.
You also know that if you talk to somebody, you do have your gifts that make you more persuasive, which you could use to persuade someone, to make them more malleable and likely to take you there and open the door for you. So I think these are like the main approaches you could take here that Janina
I think Janina
of.
will think first about the first option because she's still very rusty with using presence. So let's first try just finding it on our own, and then we'll figure out what else to do.
Nastya looks like, okay, but I'm relying on you here. I see what I can overhear, but
just pretend that you belong.
You promised to show me hospitals. I guess we're going for a tour.
Absolutely.
Right, shall we? We don't have that much time.
Yes, let's go.
I'm
going in.
Alright, so you're going into the hospital. And you step inside. There aren't that many people. There are some people like walking past the main entrance. There are some patients waiting, but it is quite a late hour, so it's not the busiest at the moment. And you start just wandering around, trying to look like you belong, listening to conversations, observing what's happening.
Yeah, I think I will try I think it's gonna be in a basement from my experience, or like lower levels. So.
I was saying not necessarily. It was in the hospital where Vitold worked, which is the main one you've been to. But roll your wits and medicine. Difficulty 7.
4 successes, 3 8s, and 10.
Yeah, it's not actually that difficult. So you observe what is happening. You go through the hospital. You manage to find the surgery, and like place where people are getting surgeries and treated for accidents. You listen to conversations, and you overhear someone saying that they will be getting some blood soon, and you are able to wait and figure out where they go. Maybe not follow them exactly, but like observing just their movements. You can establish where the place is. And it would be on the first floor, in the sort of to the side wing of the hospital.
I exchange looks with Nastya and then try as subtly and stealthily go there, looking like we know exactly where to go and why we are going there.
All right, so roll your let's see, charisma and subterfuge. And I'm just gonna difficulty 6. I'm gonna do the general sort of roll to see if anyone.
Success. I have 1 success.
You have 1 success. Okay.
At least it's not a botch.
So no one confronts you on the way, but as you're walking with Nastya, you notice few people giving you this sort of curious looks, like some nurse walking past. I think you maybe walked past her a few times already. It's sort of like maybe not immediately suspicious, going to do anything about it, but it's going a bit like, what's their deal?
Okay, I will try to smile. Those people who I will try to smile them like I know them.
And you get to the place, to the blood storage. It is currently locked.
Okay. I look at Nastya. Let's try again.
Well, we did okay last time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Before you do, just roll perception and alertness, just sort of general difficulty 6. Okay. I'm gonna roll for Nastya.
I have 3 successes, 7, 7, 6.
3 successes. Yeah, Nastya. Oh, Nastya actually has only 1, but yeah, that's perfectly enough to be able to sort of listen and find a moment when there isn't someone just about to approach or walk past you.
Okay, and I will try to break the lock gently.
Right, breaking the lock gently. Strength. I guess athletics and potence. Okay. What you could do. Difficulty, I think, for doing it gently without making much noise will be 8.
Okay.
You could spend a blood point to get automatic successes from your potence.
Okay, that I have. Okay, 1 blood point?
Yeah.
Okay. I have 9, so I can spend 1. That's
fine. So then roll your strength and athletics without potence, because that's already there, just to see.
What was the difficulty?
8.
I have 1 success, I have 9. Plus
1 success, and you have 3 potence, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, 4 successes, no problem. You sort of just try it a little bit, and you figure out how to do it to not make too much noise, just kind of muffle the sound. And yeah, you managed to break a lock.
Okay.
And the door is open. Nastya is just observing as you're doing it, sort of trying to listen if anyone is coming.
Okay, as soon as it's opened, I go inside and pull her inside.
Yeah, she comes after you and closes the door.
Then I'm trying to look for the blood.
And there is blood. You don't have to. This is the blood storage. You don't have to look for it very hard. It's similar situation as in the last hospital. There were some jars. There is some dried up stuff. It's not super well supplied. So it's not like there's abundant supply of blood.
Okay, then I will take just before I don't know what is the exact amount that I can take without me feeling too bad about it.
Again, it's the same situation. You can take what you feel would be amount that might satisfy the Camarilla, but that will quite significantly damage the supply. Or you can take a little bit. You know it probably won't be enough for people who asked you to do it. But then you will not deplete hospital supply significantly, so you don't think it should cause
I will do
a danger in case of emergency.
I want to take Nastya to another hospital.
You don't have time to go to another hospital.
Not tonight. Okay. I will maybe take like a bit more than before, but still not as much as like everything. I still want to leave the more blood there for the hospital, but I will take more than I did in the last hospital.
All right.
Better because we don't have time to go.
But you're still sticking in this not quite enough, probably, limit. Okay. Nastya is looking to you as you're like deciding and just asking, are you sure? I wouldn't want you to get in trouble for all this.
Well, I'm gonna say there wasn't more. What they can do to me.
A lot.
I'm risking it.
You probably shouldn't lie. They can tell. Often they can tell.
We will see. I'm gonna think about that later.
Roll perception and empathy.
Nastya just aged about 5 years despite being immortal.
What was the difficulty, sorry?
6.
Okay, I have 3 successes.
3 successes. You do see that she's frustrated, she's worried, but also kind of angry at hearing you just casually say that. And she just says like, all right, let's get out of here before someone catches us.
Yes, let's go. I'm trying to sneak out of the hospital.
Loris, can you speak up a little bit?
Yes, sorry, I keep forgetting that I'm not talking just normally. And I'm gonna try to sneak out of the hospital in the blood because I don't want to. I mean, I don't mind people seeing us, but I want to look as unsuspicious as possible.
All right. Well, because you didn't roll like super well last time, let's do it again. Charisma and subterfuge. This time with difficulty 7.
Okay. I have 0 successes. I had 8, but also 1, so nothing.
That is nothing.
Yeah.
So, we'll come to that. Meanwhile.
No.
There. You see the face of Leonard, twisted in anger and fear. You feel his anguish rush towards you, enveloping your mind, stabbing your own wrath and pain. The wild anguish screaming fills your head as you see Antoni's torpid body fall to the ground and you feel overwhelming smell of blood around you, pouring into your skin and into your senses. You feel the emotion swell inside you, about to overtake your consciousness. And then it all turns to just pain and anguish and fear, and you dissolve in it for a moment as it overtakes you. And you are in frenzy.
as the emotions are overtaking me, I grip my head, and just as it climaxes, I look up at the person in front of me, and I just say with venom in my voice, "Don't touch him."
And you say that, and then everything turns to this turbulent anger. And I would like you to please roll your strength and brawl with difficulty 6.
Okay. I don't have any penalties.
You wouldn't have wound penalties in frenzy anyway.
Well, I have a 2 and a 3, so that's a whole lot of nothing.
All right. Okay. So, so you somewhere through this veil of anger and emotions, you feel something slipping away from you, which only angers you more. Please roll again.
Oh, I've got a 9 and a 10 this time.
You do have a 9 and a 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So you throw yourself at somebody, wanting to tear to shreds. And you feel somewhere you feel something satisfying sipping into you, and you hear a scream, but you're only vaguely aware of it. You feel someone trying to push you off, but you're struggling. You want more. You want to feed more. You want to destroy everything in front of you. Please roll again.
I have a 10 and a 1. So
You have a 10 and a 1. Okay. You can get 3 blood points.
Oh boy.
Oh
dear.
And just to be absolutely sure, let's do this again.
Okay. I have a 6.
You have a 6. Okay. So this is all very hazy. Only maybe vague memories you will have, as they will disappear almost immediately. As you come out of frenzy, you still have the echoes of this anger, this worry, this fear, this anguish feeling you somewhere in your head. But now you look around, you feel someone holding you. And in front of you, you see Joachim also holding you, trying to push you against the wall as somebody else's arms are also restraining you. And you see blood dripping down Joachim's neck. And you can write down a point of blood points to him.
Oh, how exciting.
You rolled very well for what you both had on this one roll.
It was pathetic.
Well, he did worse. Way worse.
Oh, honey. Okay. I'm going to roll my self-control check so I can tolerate people touching me.
Do that. Your normal difficulty is 7. Would you say it's higher right now?
I think it would be higher at the moment.
So I think it would be 8 right now.
I have 1/8.
You have 1/8, so you can tolerate it. It is very unpleasant, but you can control yourself.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Joachim sort of looks to you as you start looking at, and then he lets go. It's like, worried there for a moment.
Something happened in there. Something. I don't know. The malnourished man. He did something, and I lost control.
Just take a moment. It's all right now.
I'm sorry.
You see the other man who's been holding you also, withdraw a little bit, take a few steps back.
Do I recognize him?
Not really. He is fairly tall, slightly balding head. He's wearing a uniform of a hotel attendant, like you would see in the lobby sometimes, but you don't recognize him specifically. Joachim looks to him and says, "That will be enough. I'll take it from here." And then he gives a sort of weird look and says, "Thank you." And the man just bows slightly, says, "Not a problem, sir." And he walks away.
I'm sort of looking at the floor and awkwardly wiping my mouth.
So Joachim is sort of trying to wipe blood off his neck. He sits next to you on the floor. Leans against it, looking kind of tired.
I silently hand him a handkerchief.
Thank you. So, shall we? I think we both might need a break from this task. You want to find somewhere nicer to talk?
Sure.
Tell me what happened.
Might as well.
He just kind of wipes his neck again. Corrects his collar. I'll be all right. It's quite late. Shouldn't be many people around.
Fingers crossed that.
Come on. He sort of looks around the corridor. I think we've done enough for one night.
Yeah. No, follow after him.
How are you feeling?
A little awkward. Angry at myself. A little confused. Mostly just annoyed that I lost control. And I like him, so I'm upset that I hurt him.
He seems, kind of recovering from that whole thing, but quite quickly regaining some of his usual demeanor as he leads you upstairs and towards the lobby area. Meanwhile, Janina, you're walking with Nastya, trying to just look casual. And you come across the same nurse again. It's a woman maybe in her 40s, quite a big woman, looking pretty tired, some wrinkles in her face, looking like she maybe hasn't slept very well in a while. Her graying brown hair is pulled back into a ponytail. And she kind of gives you this more careful look and then comes up to you and says, "Excuse me, are you Can I help you in some way?
Okay, can I try to use presence on her?
Yes, absolutely. That would be a blood point.
Yes.
And rolling charisma and performance.
Good luck.
You can spend willpower if you wish. You still
I
need
have-
to like say something for it to
Yeah.
work.
Sure. I have one last willpower. Okay, let's spend it.
You don't have to. I'm just like reminding you that it's an option.
Yeah, but I will, because I don't want to mess it up. So, what do I have to roll?
Charisma and performance.
Okay. Oh, I have 0 performance, so it's just
Charisma then.
Okay.
Difficulty 7.
Okay, I have 2 successes.
You have 2 successes, so no problem at all. What do you say to her?
I say to her that we were sent here from the other hospital to help out. Something like that.
And she looks to you and says, oh, right, of course. Maybe I was told about it. Sorry, I've been working very long shifts recently.
Yes.
Can I help you get somewhere? If you're new here, is there anywhere you need to be? Can I help in some way? I know what it's like to be young in this job.
I think I'm good. I think I already check it out with the other nurse that was here before the other day.
So she looks a bit concerned. Now she has this kind of motherly, like, wanting to take care of you look somewhere in her face, despite the tiredness. But she says, well, all right, if there's anything you need,
Yes,
I'll be, and she just sort of shows you. She's gonna be there. I'll be there until 9 a.m.
Of course.
At least. So if there's anything you need, you can find me there.
I will. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening.
And she just sort of like glances a few times back at you as she goes back to her duties. But she lets you go, and without anyone else intercepting, you leave the hospital with Nastya.
With 0 willpower.
You feel very tired after this. You feel exhausted. You feel like part of you would just want to lie down, like
just
in the streets. Like
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't we all? It is an effort to just force yourself to keep going, but you can. It's just really, you're completely drained.
I'm dragging myself back to the hotel, maybe trying to chit chat with Nastya on our way back.
Nastya is a bit distant. She is responding to you. She does sort of comment that you're learning, like you talked your way out of things. But she seems a bit tense, a bit distant.
Are you alright?
I'm just worried about you.
Oh no, it's gonna be okay.
Well, you say that, but you don't act like you want it to be.
It's just, it's hard for me to put Camarilla interest, in front of interests of people, I don't know.
Aren't we people?
I mean, yes, but I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I feel like we are better at taking care of ourselves than people.
Well, depends. And she sort of pauses for a moment, almost hesitates, but then says, I think I've met people who are better at taking care of themselves than you are at taking care of yourself.
I will chuckle at that. I will figure something out. Don't worry. And don't worry, you won't be in any trouble. This was my task, so you don't have to worry about yourself.
I don't. I worry about you. Why is it so hard for you to understand?
I don't know, because I guess... I mean, I know people worry about me. Bea, you, Daniel. But I don't know, I just feel like I'm alone. I don't know, since my mom died, I just always relied on myself, so it's just hard for me to let other people take care of me, even though I know you all mean well and you want me to do better, but I'm the kind of person that makes mistakes and wants mistakes, I guess, to be made.
But you're not alone. I know you've lost people, but you still... It doesn't have to be this way.
But that's how I am. I just sabotage everything.
But so you're just happy to be like that?
Yes, I am. I'm not sure if happy is the right word, but I'm used to that. And I think it's part of my personality. I don't think that's gonna change. No matter how much I'm trying to get better and listen, I always do reckless stuff, I guess.
Well, we all do reckless stuff sometimes, but and she sort of hesitates. Oh, let's just get back, it's late.
Yes, of course. I guess we are going to be silent the rest of the way.
Mostly, unless you want to say something else to her. How are you feeling, Janina? What are you thinking about as you're walking in silence with her?
I feel bad that she's worried about me, and I know Bea and Daniel, probably other people too, but it's just, I can't help myself. I just can't do things that I feel are not, that would cause harm to people. If I know that it will cause harm to people, I'm much happier accept punishment or make Camarilla unhappy than face the fact that people would die because of me, because I took all of that blood.
Roll perception and empathy. Difficulty 6.
Okay, I have 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, so you took the sense that Nastya, that there's something more there. It's not that she's annoyed that you're acting recklessly. You feel that there's something more, like that she feels hurt, like when you were saying you're always alone, and you feel there's some hurt there.
Okay, but I'm not. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just continue.
That's fine. You're just aware of it. Meanwhile, there, Joachim leads you towards the lobby, and then he just walks into the area that is a cafe. It is now closed. It has been closed for the last few days, since the Sabbat attack. So the lobby is mostly empty. There is a ghoul that you recognize, the reception, but there isn't the usual liveliness here. And Joachim just walks into the cafe, and takes a seat at one of the tables.
I take a seat across from him.
Sort of looks around. So, what happened there? What did you see?
The malnourished man. He pushed his feelings, his turmoil out of himself and pushed it into everyone around him. And I guess I just wasn't prepared for that to affect me via vision. So it just seeped into me.
He looks more curious at that.
Mm.
Sort of almost like he's kind of awakened from something and is now looking with curiosity. Yes, I would not quite expect it to work like that either, but...
Well, apparently.
There are many surprises with many things we do, and don't take it the wrong way, but often with some of the abilities of your clan especially.
Yes. Fair enough. Well, I'll take it as a learning opportunity, if nothing else.
No permanent harm done.
I'm still sorry about that.
Well, I'm lucky that brave man came to my rescue.
Yes.
I'm not... he sort of shows his kind of thin arms, not the most athletic of men. Never have been, I suppose never will be now.
Fair enough. Still sorry.
As I say, no permanent harm done.
Sure enough. I can still feel embarrassed.
He just sort of makes a gesture. Of course. Any other interesting insights?
Samitsi looked haughty.
What else is new?
I'm afraid I probably don't have the best perspective from that. No, I don't think there was anything else, really.
Well, forgive me for asking, but you'll understand I kind of have to. Before you went all bitey on me, you screamed something about not touching someone.
Oh.
So that gives you a bit mischievous smile now. What was that about?
Oh, forgotten this. Hadn't realised I'd said that. Seeing Mr. Bieletsky getting hurt.
You're close.
Not massively. Why do you ask?
Just curiosity. Can't stop myself.
Fair enough.
Well, I think we've done enough of this for tonight. I will need to take care of myself a little bit.
That's fair. Well,
but
if you need a hand and are willing to tolerate my help again, I'm willing. But
I was just about to ask. Well, we shouldn't run into more of that, hopefully.
Well, fingers crossed.
No more strange surprises.
Malkavian shenanigans.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're thinking back to Antoni being hurt, how are you feeling? And as he's asking you these questions.
I'm a little confused by the questions, but I'm thinking back to the feelings that I had, the sort of protectiveness, the anger at seeing him hurt, the wanting to catch him. And I guess I'm now focusing on that, and when he's asking me if we're close, and there's a bit of confusion in me of, I suppose we're not close, but I feel like I know him. I guess I'm just a little confused now, but yeah, it's just kind of dwelling on those feelings.
And before he stands up, he sort of still looks to you for a moment. Well, more of that tomorrow. I suppose that is what we tend to do together, right?
It does seem to be our pastime.
Oh, how delightful.
What wonderful hobbies we have.
Hobbies, yes.
Well, I hope you
I'm sorry, I suppose still a little bit shaken, not every day. I have to, well, try to protect myself like that.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not... I wasn't expecting myself to be competent in that sort of a situation. I say, gesturing to my weedy arms.
Sort of puts out his arms as well.
I guess it's just lucky it wasn't Janina.
Yes, I am very thankful for that.
I've tried dragging her off with people before. It's like trying to deal with a rock.
I don't want to make it worse, but I suppose it will only get worse in that way.
Probably. Well, on that cheerful note, I hope you have a pleasant rest of your evening and don't have to deal with more of this nonsense.
Well, I suppose I'll just get some rest. Feed a little bit.
Do take care of yourself. It is
quite late now. Not much time for much else anyway. He stands up. Sort of leans on the chair before he walks away and just looks to you. He's awake, Mr. Bieletsky. I've so been told.
Oh, that's good to hear. And there's a feeling of relief.
You could go see him if you wanted. I'm sure he would appreciate some company. Not that I know the man, but I imagine, well, You seem to know each other at least a bit.
Well, I'll see if I can spare any time between our investigations.
Yes, I'm sorry for
No, it's
taking
fine.
up your time, but I am grateful for your help. Imagine doing all of that on my own.
I'm happy to help. It's makes the task a little shorter anyway.
Yes, well, if you have any more traumatic situations to share, you know whom to find.
I'll be certain to let you know.
And he sort of waves his hand a little bit, and starts walking away.
I'll start heading up towards my room.
As you're heading out, around that time sort of, Janina, you and Nastya get to Hotel Bristol. And you see Bear sort of walking like through the door before you enter. You see Bear emerge from a cafe and start walking towards the stairs to go upstairs.
She didn't see me?
Bear, roll your perception and alertness.
I think I've pulled out my notebook and I'm taking notes, so I don't think I'm picking up.
No, she doesn't see you, but you're still outside.
Okay, I'm not gonna run.
She's walking fairly slowly, I imagine, writing. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to like walk up to her, you can.
I probably. We still have the blood, so I guess we have to get it. Do I know where to put the blood?
So like you can think of somewhere to put it for like the day. You would be taking it to Zygmunt.
Okay. Right. Like to his study? Or...
Yeah, he has. Well, not to his study. Outside the hotel. Okay, so presumably in the hotel, he'll either be there or there will be someone.
Okay,
there.
So I guess if it's Zygmunt, I'm gonna probably go to that place, and I will ask Nastya if she wants to go with me, or if not, she can do whatever she wants.
She sort of looks to you. I mean, I can come with you.
I would welcome company.
Roll your perception and alertness.
Okay.
Difficulty 7.
So I've now finished taking my note. Perception and alertness. Difficulty 7, you said?
Yeah.
I can't read this dice. Is that a 1 or a 7? That's a 1. Okay. I have 3 successes.
Okay. So you do hear Janina speaking with Nastya as you start walking up the stairs.
Yeah. Okay. As I'm putting the lid back on my pen, I kind of glance around and see her and wave.
Dolores, speak up a little bit.
Sorry. Usually I'm so loud, but when we are playing, I'm always like so silent. I'm gonna wave back to Bea, and if she stops, then I will talk to her.
I'll come back down the stairs towards you. Hello.
Hi, honey.
How did your... full of charming images, and it could have been better. How was yours?
It was okay.
Good. How did your negotiation with your contact go?
Well, we didn't. We just stole the blood.
Okay. Fair enough, I guess. I thought that was the point of you having the contact.
Yeah. Well, you know me. I'm full of surprise.
That's not untrue, I say, looking a bit tired.
Yeah, I also look very tired. Now,
I'm looking a little exasperated.
we are going to take the blood to Zygmunt. I guess I'm gonna go to my room and look at Nastya. You're welcome to come. I guess you're going to be with Elysium tonight again.
Oh yes, I should really go back to her. Do you need company, or you?
If you want to go with us to Zygmunt, you, of course, you're welcome to come.
Of course. I'll maybe wait outside, though I don't know him very well.
We have a perception and empathy.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
What? Okay. That is 4 successes.
4 successes. So you do see that, like, when you mention the contact, Nastya seems a little bit confused, and
honestly, I'm confused too.
And you also see a bit of frustration and this kind of exasperation and some hurt in her.
She's not having a good day.
As we're walking, I'd make a mental note to maybe ask her while Janina's in handing the blood, and if she waits outside, I don't know. I do glance to her occasionally.
She gives you a faint smile.
I give her a smile back.
And you walk towards Zygmunt's study.
Yes.
As you are approaching it, you see Daniel is sitting outside.
A family reunion.
Actually, he's not sitting. He would be kind of pacing a bit. And you hear, as you're approaching, a raised voice of Zoya coming from the inside. Screaming, just, no, shut up, just shut up. I don't know what fucking game you were playing, but she's dead because of you. No, you drew her into this. You're just like all of them. You're happy to see people murdered. You have fucking blood on your hands, and I won't have it. No more. And do you want to listen closer to this conversation? Do you want to try to overhear what Zygmunt is saying? You will hear Zoya.
I mean, Auspex is a power. Actually, I got scolded earlier for using disciplines in Elysium, so I'm going to not do that.
Janina, are you curious?
I'm probably, yes, I am curious, because there's Daniel outside and I can be myself around him, so I don't care.
You don't have to roll for this. With using Auspex, you will hear. So you hear Zygmunt saying, Zoya, my dear, can we just talk about it? I can explain, and I'm sure you will understand. It's like, I won't fucking understand. No amount of bullshit about building a utopia is going to change that people are dead and you sat there and let them die. You just... Fuck this, you're just the same as all of them. And you hear Zygmunt say, you will not like hearing this, but you know that deep down you understand. You understand perhaps better than my child or than Elka ever will and ever did. And there's a moment of silence. And then you just hear, go fuck yourself. And you hear someone stand up and Zoya, please. Fuck you, I'm done. And she just opens and the door kind of slams as she opens it and she comes out. And she starts walking down the corridor, kind of towards you.
Okay, I just nodded her, but I pretend like I didn't hear it.
She doesn't acknowledge you in any way. She's just walking. You see Daniel sort of walking after her. He kind of glances to you.
I'd nod.
Janina, we'll talk tomorrow. Find me tomorrow. I have to go now.
Yeah, sure. I heard.
And he rushes after Zoya, who is walking very quickly.
I probably watched them for a moment.
And they disappear behind the
corner. As soon as they disappear, then I will exchange glances with Bea and Nastya.
What are you thinking about this, Janina?
I don't know. I like Zygmunt, so I kind of don't like Zoya talking to him like this. Because I don't think he's the same as the other people, Kindred and Camarilla. So I don't know. I think he's one of the ones that deserve my respect. So it's I don't blame her for talking to him like that, because from what I've seen about her, that's who she is. So, but it's it feels a bit wrong to me, because I respect Zygmunt.
All right. Bea, any thoughts from you?
Upon hearing Zoya's side of the conversation, there was a bit of a bubble of frustration, frustration that feels like it's from some time ago. I can't quite place the feeling, but I presume it's to do with the people standing back and letting people die. And so I can kind of understand where she's coming from. But at the same time, I mean, I suppose the Bruja Primogen is, I suppose, is the one that you maybe would get away with saying that sort of thing to, but
you're still a terrified neonate.
I'm still a neonate with manners.
Yes.
I have etiquette. So it still feels a bold pastime. So yeah, mixed feelings, I guess.
And as you come up closer, you see Zygmunt come out from the study and glance towards you. And he smiles very broadly, benevolently. Janina, a pleasure to see you. Nastya, likewise. It's Wojciech. So, anything I can do for you?
We came to deliver some of the blood that we proclaimed today.
All right, come on in, Janina.
Yes. And I go inside and look at Nastya if she wants to go with me. I look at Bea, but I assume Bea doesn't want to go inside.
I move to sort of stand in the hallway. And I also glanced at Nastya, wondering whether she'll go in with her.
Nastya sort of, go ahead, says, and shakes her head. And Zygmunt gives her a smile. I will want to speak with you later, though. We have things to discuss. And Nastya just says, of course, I'll wait. And Janina, you go into Zygmunt's study with him, carrying the bag. And Nastya, if she has some of the blood in her rucksack, she will hand it to you so that you can give it to him.
Yes. Okay. And I will put the bags down.
Mm-hmm. What can I do for you?
Um,
Please, have a seat.
I will sit.
He gestures to an armchair and takes a seat opposite you with several bookshelves behind him. And just looking to you, waiting.
Is there any special place where we should get the blood, or do you want us to leave it here?
You can leave it with me. I'll make sure it gets to the people who need it.
Right. I guess that's all.
So you take it out. He's sort of looking. Were there any problems procuring it?
Oh, not really. There was a woman that spotted us, but I managed to get us out of the situation without raising any suspicion. Besides that, it was okay. I'm definitely going to look into more other hospitals to get more, because I didn't want to take everything. I didn't want to deplete the hospitals.
Gives you sort of longer look. I understand, of course. It is not an easy thing. He sort of glances at the blood. I won't pretend this will be enough for the prince.
I know, maybe tomorrow I could get much more. There are other hospitals that I wasn't able to get tonight.
Janina, didn't you say you have contacts and ways of procuring blood?
I do, but it's not endless.
I know, but there are people here, people who are hurt, who need it.
What exactly is the amount that I need to come up with?
Well, the more the better always, I suppose. I know it is difficult, Janina. Talk to me about it. Tell me your thoughts.
I don't know what is there to tell. I just feel bad taking all of the blood from the hospitals when I know there are people that might need it and might die because of it. And I know that our people are also suffering right now, but it's gonna sound bad. I care more about the people in the hospitals and about Kindred.
He just chuckles a bit at that. You're not the first one to say it, and I'm sure you won't be the last. Especially in our clan.
I know, and I feel bad because there are people that I care about among our people very much. But generally, I just can't bring myself to take all the blood from the hospitals. It feels wrong.
Let's do it like that. I'll talk to the prince. I'll tell her something. Well, this is not enough, but it will help. At least a little.
I will try to get more tomorrow.
You don't have to. I'll sort it out. She will listen to me. She'll understand. You might have to make up for it through your research work. I think that should take a priority.
Of course.
I'll make arrangements tomorrow. It should be ready for you then or day after.
Right. Of course, I will make it my priority. Because the research is something that I really want. I really feel good about. It's going to help us.
That is my hope. And I believe you can make it happen, Janina.
I really hope so. I really want to contribute into making our existence a bit less wrong, feel wrong. I want to explain it better. And thank you so much for having patience with me. And I'm sorry I overheard Zoya raising her voice at you.
Oh, he just sort of smiles and shakes his head. Don't worry, Janina. I stopped counting how many times Zoya raised her voice at me decades ago.
I know.
She will probably not come around to my point of view, but we have the relationship that we have.
Okay. I guess it's hard for her to understand. I guess I can understand both sides.
Janina. He sort of smiles. He seems almost amused at this. She understands. That's why she's so angry with me.
Okay.
She understands me very well.
I guess it makes her feel better. Scream at you.
We're me and Zoya. Don't tell that to her. She might rip you to shreds. But I've always felt we are alike in many ways.
Oh, I wouldn't dare.
That's why she's so angry with me.
It's understandable. Sometimes it's hard to see ourselves in other people because we hate seeing things that we don't like about ourselves.
Precisely. Is there anything else on your mind? Anything weighing on you? Any screaming you want to do?
No, I don't feel like screaming at you. You always seem so understanding. I would feel bad. I'm very reckless in a lot of things, but screaming at you is not among them.
Well, if you ever find yourself shaking with frustration, I prefer you come to me than do something too reckless.
I will remember that.
Will you?
I will try to. I mean, Janina will try to. I can't promise.
All right. And he just says, don't worry about the blood. I'll talk to the prince, just for the future. It's not... I understand why you're not comfortable with this. Try to avoid making promises you don't want to keep. Especially when you make them to the prince.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you again for understanding. Excuse me. Have a little bow and go away. Excusing myself.
And he just nods to you as you leave.
Before I go, do you want me to send Master in?
Please.
Of course. Have a good night.
You too. And you leave. Meanwhile, Bea, you stay outside. Nastya Who takes a seat? A chair.
If there's another chair next to her, then I'll sit down as well.
There would be.
I'll wait a couple of moments and then turn to her and say, "Are you all right?"
Good looks to you. I suppose I am. I'm okay.
If it's exasperation with Janina, I can empathize.
She hesitates for a moment, but then she kind of looks to you. She told me she doesn't. It's like she doesn't even care to change. I don't understand her. Sometimes I feel like we care about each other, and then she says things like she's alone all the time and feels alone all the time, and doesn't even acknowledge the possibility of trying for something different.
I suppose it's easier for me to put up with it because I forget about the times when she's particularly reckless, but I can see why that would be difficult. I do really worry for her, and sometimes it feels like I'm bashing my head against a brick wall.
If she could even at least acknowledge that people care for her.
It feels like she's so dedicated to her ideals that it doesn't matter what gets hurt in the way of it. Or at least, I mean, it does matter, but she'll just choose to be upset about it later. It's difficult to watch.
It's difficult.
I'm glad you care about her, but I'm glad that she has someone else that cares for her.
I'm just not sure what she wants.
What do you mean?
Maybe I shouldn't. If she hasn't spoken to.
She might have spoken. She might have spoken to me.
Do you want to persuade her to tell you more? Roll your charisma and persuasion.
Okay.
Difficulty 7, let's say.
I take it polite isn't going to come into this.
No.
Okay, I have 2 successes.
So she looks to you. And she hesitates. You see that there's this hesitation on her face, but then she sort of leans in closer. Sometimes I feel like she cares for me more. Like she wants us to get closer. And then she pulls away, and she wants my company, but always with somebody else. And I don't know. Maybe she doesn't know herself. I'm just not sure what to think.
Do you want me to talk to her?
I don't know if that's all right. I don't want to impose. If she's not interested, then she's not interested. That's okay. Maybe I'm imagining things.
I'm sort of mentally processing this as she's talking. Well, I mean, I could maybe get you an answer either way without...
Maybe. It's like she's happy to hold me and hold my hand. But then she seems so dismissive of the idea I care about her.
I think that it's easier for her to stay reckless if she thinks there's less people that will get hurt by it.
But we're gonna get hurt anyway.
Yes. Yes, we are. Well, one way or another, I will have words with her. Because...
Thank you.
It's hard to watch her sometimes.
It really is.
She's like a sister to me.
I figured.
Could I try and examine the emotions that she's feeling?
Yes, absolutely. Do you want to see her aura, or do you want to just do a read? Like,
one moment. So I'm just going to roll a dice. Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Aura.
all right, that's perception and empathy, difficulty 8.
Okay. Does insightful apply?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes.
5 successes. So yes, you do see. You see frustration and hurt, first of all, as the dominant emotions right now, and there is some sort of relief in opening up to you. Some gratitude, but also some insecurity about this whole situation that's underneath these emotions. And you do see, as she talks about Janina, this like warm, caring feeling of some desire and love somewhere deep, deep in Nastya.
Okay. I focus on that feeling for a moment and look at it. And then look back, sort of stop looking past her and look into her eyes again. I'll have words with her, and I'll try and get her to gossip if nothing else.
She sort of smiles. Thank you.
Of course.
I suppose it's not important with all that's going on.
Well, I think if we can have moments of happiness, then it makes all the horrible things that we have to deal with a little easier.
Just kind of nods her head. And not long after that, the door opens, and Janina leaves, calling Nastya in, I presume.
I just nod at her and smile and just say to her, everything's okay.
She smiles at you.
And I will hold the door for her.
She gives you a smile and she walks in and looking a bit confused at you.
No, I mean like so she didn't have to like open the door.
Yeah. No, she walks in.
It's
she
not
just
like
there
I'm
is just
opening
this
the door.
sort of look you can't quite read. This kind of she doesn't even know how she feels, and she walks in.
Okay.
And you left with Bea outside, and I think this is a good moment for a break.
Yay.
So
I have a cat to feed.
thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight to continue this story. We will be back after a short break, 10-15 minutes. Please stay with us and join us to continue this episode of The Ruins of Warsaw. Bye. And welcome back, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue with this episode of The Ruins of Warsaw. Janina, you just came out of Zygmunt's study. Nastya went in to speak to him. And Bea is sitting outside.
I'm just going. Do you think that Nastya expected me to wait for her? Or if we should go, like, back to our rooms.
It is getting a bit late. I would say she would have probably said not to wait for her.
Okay.
And Zygmunt
Then-
would have indicated that as well. That's yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going.
Do we head back?
Yes. How was your day? You seem tired.
It's been an evening. We were going through the hotel and seeing what transpired during the attack.
We?
Myself and Mr. Raffler. Apparently the Sabbat Malkavian Ermina. Apparently she's apparently figured out how to wear my face. So that's fun. So that's something to be aware of in future.
Okay, if you start to...
If I start stabbing
differently.
someone that's I shouldn't be stabbing, then be concerned. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. And then it was going fine. We were getting information. And the last room was just difficult for a number of reasons. It was just stressful to watch. And then, well, I discovered that apparently Malkavian clan disciplines can affect a person through vision.
That's just scary.
So I lost control and attacked by Mr. Rafa. And thankfully there was a member of staff on hand, but let's be honest, it's not particularly difficult to pick me up and remove me. No.
Your little doll.
Very
Oh,
angry,
she's a little
bitey doll, apparently.
Is he okay?
I think he'll be all right. Just, well,
I'm sure it's not the first time something like that happened.
Well,
I mean,
can't say we were expecting it to happen while we were both in Elysium, just investigating.
yeah. Well, I'm glad that there was someone else.
As am I. And I pause and sort of look away, thinking about the conversation we had afterwards. That's... What about you? You said you broke in?
Oh, yeah. We were supposed to get blood for Camarilla, but you know me, I just couldn't get everything. So I guess Nastya maybe disagreed for a moment.
What do you mean by you couldn't get everything?
I didn't take all that I could take. Because I didn't want to leave the hospital with nothing.
Well, I suppose it's possibly for the best anyway, if there's going to be a string of break-ins at local hospitals for blood.
Well, I think no one noticed that we broke in. The second
What
one,
did you do? Pick the lock?
Well, we used our strength, but...
So you broke the door and you think nobody's going to notice?
Well, the second door I broke very gently.
Okay. Right.
Well,
gentle breaking. Good.
Yes. I'm breaking stuff softly now, you know.
I'm so proud of you.
I know, and I was honest with Zygmunt.
Good, I guess.
Yeah. He told me that he's going to talk to the parents about it and that I will make it up through the research, which is much better for me. And less ways for me to fuck
I'm glad you're not in trouble, but I worry about you.
I know, honey. And I worry about you.
You keep doing pretty reckless things, and one day you're going to get hurt, and it's going to hurt those that care about you.
I know, I'm sorry.
Because I care about you, and so do other people.
I know. I'm sorry. You know me. I'm still not comfortable and not over the fact what I've become.
I suppose it's just hard for me to understand that, since it's all I ever remember being.
Sometimes I envy you. It would be easier for me. I would make a lot of people happier if I was just doing my duties, no asking any questions, not questioning myself.
Yes, well, maybe we could both take a little bit from each other, rather than...
Yeah, we should. We should make a fusion. And learn the best instead of the worst. It's not easy, though. I mean, I would love to be more like you, but there is always that voice in my head that questions everything, and I just can't accept some things.
I guess I'm just worried one of these days you're going to do something that you can't come back from.
I know. I'm really trying not to. I mean, I'm trying to stop and think.
Well, I'm glad of that.
But when some of the things that my beliefs are in question, it's hard, because I know that reasonably I shouldn't do. I know that in this case tonight I should have just take everything and be happy about it because I'm helping Camarilla, and there are a lot of kindred that I care about as well. But there is just part of me that says that is wrong, and that we are not more important than the people in the hospital. And it's a constant struggle between these two things. So I guess that's why sometimes even if I know that I could do better, and I know that I should do something different, I just don't do it.
I stand there sort of considering what she said about the people in the hospital. And there's part of me that feels like in her shoes I probably would have been more pragmatic. And then there's another part of me that, as she says, that we're not more important than the people in the hospital. Something feels familiar in that, and there's some sort of old guilt, almost. I don't quite remember where it's from, but I possibly spend a bit more time thinking on that than I normally would.
You are beginning to feel a bit tired.
I guess we were talking on our way back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no
Yes.
problem. Are you heading to
I'm
your
heading to my room.
All right. Before we go in, I turn to her. I had a question. The more gossipy kind.
Yeah, I guess.
What do you think of Nastia?
I paused for a moment. I mean, I like her. I mean, if I didn't, I wouldn't want to spend time with her.
Mm-hmm.
I consider her one of us. You, Daniel, and her, probably my closest people. Yeah.
So not in a romantic way?
Huh. If Bea says this, I guess Janina probably just is taken aback for a moment because she didn't expect Bea to catch up on that. So I think Janina's stunned, and
I'm trying to read her expression.
Go for it. Perception and empathy. Janina, are you trying to hide anything?
I think in the moment, not as much hide. I'm just in shock.
All right. Okay. Well, the difficulty 6.
I'm probably like very, very awkward about that because I didn't expect that from Bea.
The power of surprise.
Yeah.
Does insightful apply here?
Yes.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 successes.
How does Janina feel about Nastya deep down? All the things that flash through her head.
Well, of course, Janina thinks she's beautiful and she would love to be closer to her, but she's also insecure because she isn't sure that's what Nastya also wants, and she also isn't comfortable to show it. Like, maybe to Nastya, if she knew that Nastya felt the same, it would be okay. But like among other people, it's just Janina's not used to show her feelings like that.
I will sort of stare her down slightly longer than is comfortable for Janina, and then just give her a slightly mischievous grin and go, never mind, have a nice evening. And just disappear into Felicia's room.
I just probably stay there like exasperated, just like what the hell happened? And as soon as she closes the door, I just turn around and go to my room and just close the door and just sit there on the ground for a moment, just like thinking about that I have to really not be subtle at all if Bea get caught on that.
Does it bother you that Bea knows?
It doesn't like bother it. I think there's like surprise. It's more like that, especially from her. Like if it was Daniel, it wouldn't like surprise me at all because he knows me, and it wouldn't surprise me. But because it's Bea, and I know she isn't like exactly great at like catching people's relationships and like feelings towards each other. So that's my main, because then it makes me like insecure about other people if Bea knows that other might know, but I'm not like uncomfortable that Bea knows. It's more like surprised, and I just sit there and I think about what I will have to say, that I will have to talk about her, with her about it.
What else are you thinking about? Are you thinking about Nastya?
Yeah, I think about her too, because I mean, if Bea knows, I think it means that Nastya probably knows too, and I will have to like do something about that.
Oh, I've caused chaos.
And I'm very nervous about that. Because I'm still like insecure about Nastya's feelings.
And you start getting sleepy quite soon after you go into the room. So do you want to move to the bed, or do you just fall asleep there on the floor?
I think if I have enough time, then I will drag myself on the bed. Just like face down on the pillow. Just like, oh my god.
And you fall asleep with that chaos in your head.
That Bea caused.
Bea.
Yes.
You walk into Felicia's room. And you see her lying in bed, shaking a little occasionally. Roll your perception and occult with difficulty 8.
Oh, that's a good roll.
Mm.
Oh, no, there's a 1 in there. Okay, that is 3 successes, unless insightful applies.
It could do, yeah.
4 successes.
4 successes. So, you see her lying there and shaking. Can you focus on her? But before you can move, you see almost like the air or something in the air, the waves swirling, moving through the room, through you, through Felicia, emanating from you to Felicia. And you know each of them carries an emotion as they swirl and wrap themselves around you and her and move through the walls further, echoing around the place. And you see as they go through Felicia, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes she shivers and just stares or becomes more tense. And then there is a moment of break, and then something else you can almost distinguish. As you're looking, you can almost see the ones that will cause her pain. And they are painful. There's something painful in them.
Okay.
And then it disappears and you just see her.
I take a deep breath and try and push the worry down and focus on the fact that I'm close to her again and the relief that I feel being near her and the fact that we're together again. And I come and very gently sit down next to her. And I'd like to roll self-control so I can touch her.
Go for it. Difficulty 5.
Yeah, no bother. 2 successes.
No problem.
So I reach forward, and is her hair still braided at the moment?
Yes, it would be.
Okay, then I'll very gently start unbraiding her hair and take a hairbrush and start brushing it.
She gives a smile. Bear. Oh, it's good to see you. How was your night, my dear? She says as she shakes in pain again.
Mm-hmm. I stroke her slightly and focus on warmer feelings. It was all right, Mother. I'm glad to be back with you again, though.
I think I will have to go away from this place for a moment. Take a break. This is too painful. There's too much pain here.
We have a haven, if you need to.
If you don't mind, my dear, I might...
Of course, Mother.
Go there tomorrow to get a break.
Of course. And I'll reach into my bag and press the key into her hand. And I'll get the address tomorrow. Well, you've been there before.
I remember.
Yes.
Do you have it marked on your map? I can mark it for you if you don't.
I check my map.
You probably would have it marked by now.
Yes, I do have it. Yes, you can stay there as long as you need, Mother.
Just a little break.
Yes. I'm sorry that it's so hard for you.
It's just this time. Primogen. They're gone again, aren't they?
Almost certainly.
Of course they would be.
Well, the prince can't say he didn't find them.
Oh, no, talk to the prince. That's just... I'm not sure what they say. They're gone now. So much pain. How could... I'm sorry, my dear. I am finding it difficult to maintain my composure. It seems
That's all right. It's been a difficult time.
it has. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm helping out with Mr. Rafa. He's investigating what happened on the night of the attack. So we're just going through room by room and just investigating that, which is a relatively safe task, if a slightly unpleasant one.
She smiles and she sort of puts her arms on you, and as you're talking, she is smiling and she's kind, but her hand starts squeezing your arm a bit painfully.
I do my best to not react at all.
You can control yourself.
And I just keep talking. I don't mention the fact that I lost control.
Yeah.
I don't need to cause her more worry. And I say that we're going to continue investigating tomorrow, so...
I'm glad you're finding your place here. I knew you would settle in all right.
Thank you, Mother.
It's all
because of your teaching.
For me. Yes, I'm glad it helped. You learn well. I hope you should have a good place here. She says as her fingers kind of keep biting into your arm.
I hope that it'll get easier so that we can stay together here.
I hope so, my dear. I hope so.
And I rest my head on her shoulder.
You rest your head. Her shoulder, and she's sort of, you're starting to get a bit sleepy. And as you rest your head on shoulder, sort of glancing around, you notice a photo taken out on her nightstand, on which she is with, well, the woman maybe Belle would not recognize, but that is Estera.
I think there is some recognition, but not necessarily good ones.
Yeah. What emotions does Bea feel seeing this picture?
Shame.
So you have that feeling, seeing this photo taken out there, not sure where it's coming from exactly.
I choose to look away from it. I don't like looking at it.
And you are getting sleepy. I assume you're getting ready for bed.
Yes.
Felicia does get up to get ready. She leans on you a little bit.
I'll help her where I can.
But she is very much trying to move despite pain and go through her routine and get herself ready for bed. And you both lie down. Is there anything else you wanted to say to her?
I lie down and just lie facing her so that I can see her. And I'll take her hand just before we go to sleep.
And she squeezes your hand and pulls you a little bit closer. What's in your head as you're falling asleep? What are you thinking about? What are you feeling?
I'm trying to shove the unpleasant feeling from looking at the photo aside. I can't remember what is causing it anyway, so there's no point in dwelling on it. I'm worried for Mother. I hope that she'll just some time away will help her feel better. I enjoyed teasing Janina, but it's kind of at the back of my mind now. It felt very sisterly. But I hope that if there's a way to bring her some happiness, that she's not. Yeah, I hope that she can get some happiness somewhere.
You fall asleep. Oh, is there anything else you wanted to say? And you fall asleep as the sun rises over Warsaw. You can both regain a point of willpower.
Well, I need it.
Janina, you can regain one more, I think, for your idealist nature. You did stick to your principles.
So it was worth something.
I
don't like extras, but I love gaining willpower and blood.
Well, I'm glad. Well, you can lose blood for the night.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's how
because
it is.
I'm on 5.
All right. Belle, what are you on? You should be fine.
8.
Yeah, you've got some blood.
Sorry about him.
And Belle, please roll for your nightmares.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that.
Difficulty 7.
Oh boy, with my 2 willpower. Well, that's 2 2s. It's not a botch.
Right. Not a botch. Not a success. But we'll start with Janina. You wake up in bed, lying just face down the next night.
Yeah, Janina's happy that she can't have back pain.
No.
Okay, I will get up and sit and do my usual stuff, checking out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Just
you don't get ready in any special way, right? You don't get dressed. You don't go to the bathroom
maybe
to take a shower.
Comb my hair, but that's like the
okay. So you just kind of sit. I imagine you comb your hair as you stand in front of the window, or something.
Yeah, that's the extent. And I'm like Daniel in this. So,
all right, that's fine. You go up to the window. You see
about yesterday's.
Yeah. Continue.
I want to say that Janina is thinking about yesterday's events.
Mm-hmm.
That's while she's combing her hair and watches people on the street.
So you watch people. You see it's been snowing. It's still snowing. It has started probably not long ago. There is a little, like a thin layer of snow in the streets. You see some footsteps, some marks of when one of the horse-drawn carriages went along the street. Some marks from bicycles and cars as well. You see some people walking. You see several younger children chase themselves, like each other down the street, throwing snow at each other. Life goes on.
Maybe a bit of envy at seeing this, because I would also want to be so carefree and just have fun as a kid. And I maybe imagined me and Bea as children.
Is there anything you want to do, or are you just staying in your room for some time?
I think I'm probably waiting on Bea, so I know that she's not going to wake up right now, so I'm just chilling at my room, watching from the window, sitting, thinking, and that's like the extent of it.
And you think about, well, what it would be like to be children with Bea and be carefree, and the events of previous night. Bea, you are running through the burning, ruined city. Smoke fills your lungs. You feel like you're almost choking on it as it keeps coming into your nostrils and your mouth. And you know it shouldn't be a problem. You shouldn't have to breathe. But it still suffocates you as you keep moving forward, trying to jump over the rubble. You trip over something, and you see it as a dead body of someone lying amid the ruins. You stare at the face you don't recognize until the face of the body disappears, and not only you can't recognize it, it doesn't have any features at all. You step away in fear, tripping over some rubble, hit your head on some of it. You feel the warmth of blood dripping down the side of your face. And then you run to get away from it. You run against the current of a crowd of people running away. You're pushing your way through them. As they shove you to the side, you feel increasingly angry. You want to find someone. You know someone is there waiting for you. You can't find them. And you feel this growing frustration and fear and desperation in you as someone pushes you to the side and you fall again. But then you stand up, pushing against the crowd and pushing. And you get more and more angry, pushing through them, shoving someone out of the side yourself. You lose yourself in the rhythm of just bodies hitting over bodies, of pushing through the crowd. You feel some blood, somebody else's blood. You feel their sweat on your skin. And you lose yourself in it for a moment. And then you're back again, over the featureless body. All the features removed from the face. No hair, nondescript clothing. And you see your hands are covered in blood as you're over there, over this person you do not recognize, who doesn't have any features left. You wake up.
I sit up and just kind of put my face in my hand for a moment. Sigh tiredly, and then go through to the bathroom and take a shower, trying to wash the memory of the feeling of the blood and the sweat on my body away from me. And I just stand under the shower head for some time. Until the sort of hot water has kind of washed the residue of the dream away.
You feel tired from the dream, but it does go away. You feel more grounded after the shower.
As I get out, I end up staring into the broken mirror, looking at my own fragmented reflection. So wrap my hands around my stomach, covering over the stretch marks there. And pause, sort of thinking about the dream for just a little bit more, and then shake myself too and start getting ready for the day, night.
Janina, it comes to the time where you think more or less Bea should be awake usually. Do you want to look for her, or are you just going to wait, expecting her to come here?
I think I will give her like 5 extra minutes in case she would want to come here. If not, then I will go over her and Felicia's room.
All right. So Bea, you start getting ready, going through your routine. When you are almost ready, Felicia starts staring at the bed.
I go and kneel next to the bed. Good evening, Mother.
Yeah. Good evening, my dear.
I'm going to try and take her hand. So I'll roll a self-control check.
Difficulty 5.
Yeah. I have 3 successes.
No problem.
Okay. I take her hand and just hold it.
She holds it. Very. She's not squeezing it very hard this time. It's her hand almost feels weak, but she holds you very gently. And then she sits up, I should start getting ready. She kind of looks for the keys. Thank you. I need to grab some things, and I'm sorry, I need a break. I should be with you.
Are you going somewhere?
Oh, I'm sorry. You said I can go to the Haven.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry,
I haven't been feeling well. I'm sorry. I'm not myself.
Oh no, Mother. It's if that'll make you feel better, then take the time you need.
For some time, I hope so. Around this time, there's a knocking on the door, as Janina would have gotten here.
Okay. I'll get that. I squeeze her hand slightly and then stand up. And I'll go to the door.
Hi, it's me.
Oh, good evening. I'll be out in a minute.
Okay. I'm gonna wait.
Well, you take care on your way. Yeah, do you need my help getting there, or are you?
I'll manage. I think once I leave here,
Okay.
I'll feel better.
Okay.
It's not far. If I need to, I'll get a carriage.
Good. Stay safe. Go see what mischief Janina is going to get us up to.
And Felicia disappears into the bathroom.
Okay. I then go outside to meet Janina. Good evening. How are you?
Good. I probably, for a moment, look at Bea a bit longer, but then I remember that she probably doesn't remember that, so so I just smile at her. Any plans for tonight?
Oh God, I haven't looked at my journal yet. I opened my journal and the last note I have is about Janina.
So you see that note? What does it say?
Janina has feelings for Nastia, wants to get closer but holds back. There's insecurity and uncertainty. What is she afraid of?
So you see that?
I turn the page. I've got a note about more of the investigation. I don't know when or where we're meeting for that.
You would assume at the Elysium.
Okay.
Let's go then. I probably physically said that he's going to have some things for me prepared for the research in the next few days.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to also go to the Elysium.
I've also got a note that Mr. Bieletsky is awake.
Oh, do you want us to go to see him? I think I would like to.
Yes, I think I would like to as well.
Do you think we should go to the Elysium and ask the sheriff about it?
I suppose. See who's around.
Yeah. Let's go. How is Felicia doing? Is she okay?
She's struggling a bit. She's going to stay at the Haven for a while.
Oh, good. Well, at least someone's using it.
Yes, indeed. I think this place has just been draining her slowly, and it's especially hard right now.
She and Bruno were very close, so it's understandable. Well, I hope she'll feel better.
Fingers crossed.
Let's go.
Yes, let's. I wonder what exciting sights I'm going to get to see tonight.
I hope it won't be anything too horrifying.
Well, I think it's probably going to be relatively unpleasant, given everything else we've seen.
I can imagine how it must feel to
I don't know. It almost doesn't feel like it's in my head when it's happening. It's like I'm watching it just in the room. It's like I'm there. Sometimes it feels so much like it's happening in the moment.
Must be emotional and stressing for you.
I suppose. Well, it depends. Most of the time I'm able to be, I guess, reasonably pragmatic, I suppose, but I don't know.
I'm glad that you're not doing it alone, that your husband is going to be there.
Yes, well, at least I suppose I won't hold on to it for as long. He seems to have a very good memory for these sorts of things, so I guess whatever I can take off of his shoulders will.
Yes, that's really reasonable. Come on, and
I suppose at least
I will want to grab her hand, but then I remember that she does not, and then I just like push her slightly on the back.
I'm just picturing this as like full potence, like shoving in there, just going sideways.
Let's assume it's not, for the sake of Bea. And you head towards Elysium.
Yes.
When you enter, there are some people there. Mikhail Orlov is there. His child, Anna Maria, is there as well. Just sitting, reading. You see Rahela is sitting near them as well. She's sitting next to Stefania and Nina, and the three of them are talking with each other. Nina and Stefania clearly focused on Rahela, sitting on two sides of her.
They're adopting her.
You see also from the people you recognize, Sheriff is there, and he is speaking to Jagoda at the moment.
Okay. Can I see someone who resembles Abelard?
No. No, he's not here. I mean, unless he would like have a drastically different appearance, but it's just a couple of people that you've seen around before. You just never spoke to.
I just remembered about him that he went to check things out, so I wanted to see his back already.
You got the feeling he's not like he wanted to stay there for at least a little bit, so it's not an immediate cause of alarm that he's not there. He might still be checking it out. And as you enter, Sheriff and Jagoda are ending their conversation, and Sheriff is starting to head towards the exit.
Okay, and I glance at Bea, and if we are going to approach him, there's us as well. Okay, and I will head with Bea. I will probably let Bea go first because she has better relationship with him.
Fair enough.
So you approach him. He first just means to nod to you, and then he realizes that you want to speak with him, so he stops.
Good evening.
Miss Wozniak. Good evening, Miss Shivak.
I trust you're well.
I'm well, considering the circumstances. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. It's my understanding that Mr. Bieletsky was awake. I was wondering if he was open to visitors.
I'm sure he would appreciate some company from what I know. You worked together. You know each other. He is indeed awake. He's still recovering. I'm afraid his wounds are going to take some more time to heal. And he gives you the room where he is.
Thank you. And then I give him a smile and wish him a pleasant rest of the evening.
Before we leave, I just ask, any news about Dominic?
He pauses for a moment. No, not yet.
All right. If there's anything I can do to help, please don't hesitate to ask me. Dominic is my friend, and I want to do something to help bring him home.
He looks at you. He looks you sort of straight into the eyes and says, "Thank you. I appreciate it."
And I'm not letting her go without supervision, so I guess let me know as well.
He smiles a bit at that. I appreciate it as well.
Of course.
I will be in touch if I need assistance.
Of course.
And then he sort of, his eyes just kind of shoot around the room, and he says, "But you must understand, I have other duties I need to tend to as well.
Of course,
no
sir.
matter how much I want to rush to his aid."
Understood.
Understood. If you need a helping hand, you can always count on me.
I will remember that, Miss Shivak. Thank you. And he smiles and gives you a slight nod. Please have a pleasant night.
You too, sir.
And he leaves.
Well, we have a room number.
Okay. Let's go then. Let's pay Anthony a visit.
Oh, by the sounds of it, maybe not. Well, that's indeed. I imagine 4 walls can't be that exciting. Sorry.
So you head towards the room that was indicated to you. It is upstairs from where your rooms are. And you get there, no problem at all. Do you knock? Do you just try to barge in?
No. I think there's a brief moment where I hesitate with my hand sort of over the door, ready to knock. Was it like a moment of hesitation that I don't quite understand?
And I will do it for Bea. Just quickly knock. If she hesitates. It's a little revenge.
Revenge thing I can't remember.
Yeah, but I do.
And you hear footsteps coming to the door and the lock opening, and you see the door open, and you see a woman, the nurse, Joanna, whom Bea maybe doesn't remember very well, but you, Janina, remember very well, how she worked with Sarah at the clinic. And she opens the door for you.
I probably just... There's like a shock on my...
You do remember Antoni taking her with him.
I know, but still. It's not like shock seeing her here, but just remembering everything that happened.
Yeah.
But I just try to smile on her and just... Good evening.
Good evening. Do you wish to see Mr. Bieletsky?
Yes, if he's up to it.
You hear Antoni's voice then. Let them in.
That's so dumb.
And she opens the door for you. She comes up to him. You see Antoni. He's lying in bed. He's covered with a blanket. You see he's wearing this light blue sort of shirt right now. He's you get especially bear something in you from, I don't know how much you would remember, but you get the impression that wherever he's wounded, he would be covered right now with a blanket. But he's lying in bed. He kind of sits up a little bit, with visible pain, as you come in. But he does that and looks to you.
I have an urge to put a hand on his shoulder to try and get him to stop.
Do you?
No.
So he does sit up, but he doesn't stand up from the bed. Joanna comes up to him. She does attempt to help him, and he sort of pushes her away. There's no need. There's no need. I'm all right. And then she glances to you, like, shall I wait outside?
I just kind of shrug.
And he just sort of looks to her. Go get yourself something to eat, something to drink. I'll be okay. Come back later when you can. I have company, as you can see. And she just nods. Of course. I'll be back shortly. And you see her take a coat of a hanger and leave.
I give her a brief smile as she leaves.
I just watch as she leaves. A bit feeling of guilt on my face.
Roll perception and empathy.
Just Janina or both of us?
It's both of you can, yeah.
What's the difficulty?
A difficulty 6.
Okay, I had 3 successes.
Okay.
Ooh. That is 5 successes.
So Janina, you see her, like, you notice that she kind of, as you look at her, she kind of pauses and looks to you, but you can't quite read her expression. But Bea, you do see that there is some, like, this instinctive, like, she tenses up, and there's some kind of fear there, and maybe a little bit of, like, resentment, but also guilt, and guilt for feeling that. Like,
I make a mental note, but I'm not gonna bring it up right now.
And she leaves.
I turn to Anthony. I'm glad to see you now awake.
Yes. Well, how are you holding up?
I am in one piece, barely, but still.
Oh, I'm glad for that.
So am I. I'm glad to see you well. I knew, of course, I asked. I'm glad you got through it all right.
Thank you. You just stuck bedridden at the moment.
I could try to move, but it's not advisable. I'm afraid I need to spend some more time healing. It's a tricky injury, you see. It requires a lot to heal up.
I think there's like a little bit of a flash of some sort of a memory of this.
Janina, as he says that you are acutely aware of your own wounds that hurt you.
Yeah. I enjoyed the pain.
And you know, you've been told that they are also the kind that will require great expenditure of vita to heal, being dealt by gangrel claws.
I'm sorry about
He, like, doesn't know what to say, quite obviously, for a moment. He's just sort of, not taken aback, but just kind of stuck in his own feelings. Then he looks to you. From what I'm told, he saved me. But I wish he hadn't. I wish he hasn't paid the price for that.
If it's any consolation to you, I think it made him happy to do that for you.
Roll perception and empathy again.
I have. What is the difficulty?
Difficulty is 6.
Okay,
Doesn't
then 3
Sightful
successes.
doesn't Sightful apply?
Yeah.
Okay, 7.
How many did you have, Janina?
3.
So you, Janina, don't really see much, but you, Bea, see as Janina says it, and he says, sort of course, you see the self-disgust, like this self-disgust and self-hate as he says it, this feeling of guilt and shame. And it just makes him feel awful.
I have a sudden urge to kick Janina under the table.
And you...
She meant it in a, like, not because he was a ghoul, but because he was a good person. He would do it anyway, but because she doesn't realize what Santan is feeling.
Well, that's fair. Janina doesn't see it enough.
Yeah. Yes.
But as far as she's concerned, he just kind of agrees and nods.
I would like to make a self-control check so I can put a hand on his shoulder.
Of course. A difficulty 7.
I have 2 successes.
Yes, go ahead.
So just lean forward and just quietly say, I'm sorry.
You see, because you're also, I'm just going to give you some insight throughout the conversation. You see a certain sort of relief from it. And then almost like he feels bad for feeling that relief as well.
I just want to make it better, but I don't think I can.
He continues. I hoped he would adjust and find his place here.
I think we all did.
He was a good man.
That he was. No doubt about that. Possibly too good for all of this, but what can you do, I suppose? How are the two of you holding up? We don't have to talk about me here with my thoughts all the time.
That's fair. Well, keeping busy. I'd say I'm trying to not linger on things, but that's part of, I'm helping with the task of figuring out what happened, so.
Well, it needs to be done, I suppose.
Indeed.
Not something I could help with much. Maybe it's good to have a moment of rest.
Indeed.
You don't really get that very often.
No, you do generally seem quite busy.
You do see this tiredness in him, but also just discomfort with himself still. But also resignation in that kind of state of affairs.
Do you have a lot of visitors?
Not that many. Most people are busy. Sheriff stops by. Jagoda stops by. Clemens dropped in. My working colleagues.
Well,
the prince came to see me. But I expect she would. You do see there, because you rolled
I'm just very focused on him.
Well, I figured because you rolled 7 successes.
Yeah.
Have it. You do see that when he mentions her, it's not quite as cynical as he seems to be about many other things.
Okay.
There is this sort of, maybe not joy quite at it,
Yes.
but like it did sort of brought him some acknowledgement that he's happy with.
Glad something makes him feel happy. He just seems to be having a hard time at the moment. I'm glad she was able to make the time. I understand she's very busy.
She is, of course.
How are you passing the time here now when you are awake?
Well, trying to think how I can contribute, trying to forget about what went on.
Do you need maybe some books or something to occupy you?
I have some, and he like gestures, and he does have some books. You see, some of them are in Polish, some of them are in German.
Okay, but if you need some entertainment, you can think something too. I mean,
Or if you're willing to put up with our company more.
Your company is a pleasure.
Well, thank you.
I smile, but it's like not very convincing smile.
I smile quite warmly at that.
I am glad, genuinely glad you're all right through this. I worried something happened.
I'm very glad that you made it through this. As much as you wish things had gone differently, I'm very glad you're still here.
Any other interesting news? Any trouble you got into? He said, glancing at Janina.
I think I laugh at that.
There are so many, I don't know where to start. And I smile.
He smiles at that as well. Like, as long as I don't have to clean up after that, I'm happy to enjoy the tale.
I don't think it's anything too exciting. I'm working on the research for the blue hyperimogen. And I will tell him about some like basics about the research and what we're trying to achieve, I guess.
Innocence. Yes, exactly something that would come in handy right now. Wouldn't help me much, I am afraid, but I'm sure it would bring relief to others.
Do you need more blood to heal?
I do, but there's specific requirements. I'm managing as fast as I can.
Okay. Can we help in any way?
I'll be alright, I have people taking care of it.
Any other trouble or gossip, Janina? I say.
Trying to think. Me, Dolores, trying to think.
Yeah. Well, there isn't that much, except
It's mostly depressing.
It's mostly depressing.
Yeah.
What would interest him?
He just says,
and wouldn't be too depressing.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to find gossip to entertain me. I am just glad to see you.
Okay, if we hear any juicy gossip,
You'll be the first to know.
Okay.
If we find something actually happy to tell you.
You see, rather, there's like a moment when he maybe has a thought of something to ask, maybe hesitates, But he doesn't, and he dismisses it.
I look at him curiously.
Oh, it's nothing. Just my mind wandering. Back to work, I suppose.
Fair enough. Well,
Well, I don't want to take much of your time. It is a pleasure to see you.
I'm glad that you are.
But I understand there's research and investigations to be done.
well, the building isn't going anywhere currently.
I hope I will be able to move around a bit more and get back into things soon.
Just enjoy your recovery. Once you'll be back on your feet, you are going to be so busy again.
Tell me about it.
And I hope that you get some relief from all your injuries soon.
You again see this tiredness, and it's just some disgust with himself and him. I'm sure the injuries will heal. Is there anything else specific you want to chat to him about?
I probably don't. I will, if I see that he is tired and he wants to go for us to leave, and I will just excuse myself and just tell him that if there's anything that he wants us except gossip, always bring him something.
And you leave.
Just before I leave, as Janina's moving to leave, I will lean in and quite quietly say to him, "You don't have to be ashamed of surviving."
He looks to you, and you see this kind of surprise and a bit of pain in his face.
And I squeeze his shoulder.
And then he sort of... Sorry?
And I squeeze his shoulder slightly.
And there is certain maybe relaxation there coming after that. The feelings.
Bless you.
Excuse me. These feelings aren't still gone, but he kind of goes back into controlling himself and agreeing whoever just nods his head.
Take care of yourself.
You do. And
I give him
keep an eye on Janina.
Oh, I'm doing my best. I say it with some level of my own tiredness. And then I'll follow after Janina.
And you leave. Where do you want to go next?
I guess back to Elysium.
When we are on our way to the Elysium, well, I feel very hungry, and I think it's probably best for me to go and feed before it gets worse.
Right. Yes, of course.
I don't know. I mean, I would probably need someone stronger in case anything goes wrong. So
yes, that's fair. It's not really my area.
I'm gonna look for Nastya or Daniel or anyone. Well, these two. But you're welcome to come and witness.
I can provide moral support.
Yes, of course.
I'll cheer you on in the background.
Have your other gifts?
Yes. I can disappear when the going gets rough.
So you head back to Elysium.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just wanting to say together. It's nice to see Anthony.
Yes. I'm so glad he's all right. I was really worried about him.
Me too. I caused him so much pain that I feel kind of responsible for his well-being, even if, I don't know if you remember. I caused him some pain.
I don't remember specifically, I'm afraid.
That's probably for the better.
Fair enough. I'm surprised he asked about us. I suppose if you caused him trouble, he might remember.
Yeah, I think he won't forget about us. I mean, you, because you're super Camarilla.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yes. I mean, for him it's a compliment.
I'm starting to feel like it's less of a compliment now. When you say it like that.
No, I'm sorry. I just meant that in his eyes, I guess it would be a compliment to think about you in that way.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of things troubling him.
Yeah. Let's hope he first recovers physically, then maybe we can cause him some happiness also.
Well, that would be nice.
Yeah. But I guess when he recovers, he is going to be busy again.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, you could help him with work.
I'd like to as much as I could.
There's so much to do.
So much research to do.
Yeah. Okay, maybe then let's go back to the Elysium. I will see if there's Daniel or Nastya. Then, if not, then we will have to deal just on our own because I really can't hold on for much longer.
Right. Well, I really hope they're there. So when you phrase it like that, I'm a little worried.
And you go to Elysium. And you do indeed see Daniel there. Joachim is also there right now. And as you enter, you see Joachim is sort of glancing towards you there. And Daniel, who has been sort of pacing along the walls, and he sort of locks his eyes on you, Janina, and starts heading towards you, like, immediately.
I lean towards Janina and go, well, thank God he's here.
Yes, and I smile and I look at him.
You can do without my weedy arms. Well, best of luck with hunting and research.
Right, so you're staying here with Joachim?
Well, I think so. Might as well crack on while the night's still young.
Okay, then we will see each other in a few hours.
Indeed.
I guess
Meet back to figure out what mischief you've caused.
I'm gonna be good, promise.
Can I get that on record? Can I write that down?
Okay, write it down.
I very theatrically write it down in my journal. And as Daniel approaches, sort of go, you've heard this too? She said she's going to be good.
I learned not to trust the words that come out of her mouth when they sound like that.
That's fair.
I was waiting for you. I hope you can. Well, I wanted to check in how you're doing.
Well, I need to feed, and I was hoping to see you here so you could accompany me and keep me in check in case things go wrong. So
God knows I wouldn't be any else.
Yeah.
See, there's like a briefest moment when he's thinking about something, and then just says, "Yeah, all right, let's go feed."
Come on, then we can chat.
Take care of each other, and you stay out of trouble.
I will, and you take care of yourself, and also stay out of trouble.
I will do my best.
I know.
Janina, you head out with Daniel. And Joachim comes up to you. So, are you ready for more of the same?
Another fun-filled night of seeing the horrors that the Sabbat caused? Yes, why not?
Yes. Sort of looks to you for a moment. No, it's okay. I'll just deal with having to Never mind, it would be rude to ask.
Well, you've got me intrigued now.
You will not remember all of that we see, will you? I have been told so.
You were told correctly. I won't.
I suppose there's a comfort to take in that in this particular task.
Indeed, it was one of the reasons why I volunteered. Take some of the weight off of you, given you can remember it.
Yes, it's going to be burned in my head forever.
Wow.
But what can you do? We are as we are.
Indeed. I guess we'll just have to take the long and the short straws from both.
Shall we?
Indeed.
And you start walking through the hotel. Just sort of generally roll your perception and empathy with difficulty 7.
Okay.
You had very good rolls beforehand, so I'm kind of taking it all into consideration.
Okay. That is 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. I'm not going to make you roll for every little scene. Let's just assume this is the general sort of a level of detail you get on those scenes. So you see, you first start at the first floor of the hotel. You do see some of the Sabbat members breaking through some service door, entering the hotel, and you see the Nosferatu with a dislocated jaw, gravedigger, shouting something, gesturing forward to a group of people, some of them looking terrified, some of them eager, some of them a bit lost. And you see as he just slaps them on their butts with his shovel as they go in, just kind of urging them ahead. You do get, as you're moving through the hotel, some scenes of those people, some other faces kind of blend, running into some mortals, slaughtering them, drinking from them, abandoning the bodies in the corridors. And among those scenes, once you are on the level of where your rooms are, you do see again yourself, but not yourself.
Oh, good, more of this.
Heading towards what would be your and Janina's rooms, like in that direction, kind of, where Felicia's room is as well. Just kind of walking very casually and then stopping and taking out a mirror and taking out a knife and taking some blood from the knife and just spreading it like lipstick on her lips. And you see it several times. It kind of happens as you move it through the corridors, which you get the impression she was headed towards at least where your rooms are. What do you feel seeing that?
Just distaste, I guess. I just seeing the sort of what I'm looking for here. The mindless violence, and I just kind of want to roll my eyes at it. Like, there's sort of a level of disgust. Like, it's just very distasteful to me. With her wandering the corridors, I'm wondering what she's looking for, if she is looking for something, or if she's just aimlessly walking. And I'm, I guess, again, feeling more just general distaste for her, and also annoyance that she's wearing my face for this.
Do you mention this to Joachim? This, like, wondering what she was looking for?
I think I'm sort of giving him the rough gist of what I'm seeing, and if it's sort of more of the same, then I will be saying that. But yes, I will say I wonder if she's looking for something in particular.
And he says, well, she seems very interested in you, from what you're describing and from what I am seeing.
Oh, good.
Do not envy you that. That's
no.
But then again, there's people in Sabbat who would probably, well, I guess they all hate us.
Oh. Lucky us.
You see that this may be something he didn't quite want to get into, but like he just sort of apologies. It's the memories of living on the run.
Fair enough. Well, if you want to talk about it, I'm happy to listen. As stated earlier, your secret's safe with me.
No, I think
Fair enough.
it's not much to dwell about, really. Just constant state of fear and hope you will get away.
The feeling is familiar.
Well, I was with my sire, that at least he could keep us safe. The best he could. What was good enough, I suppose.
It's the same for us and my sire.
He smiles at that.
Well. Anyway. Enough trauma bonding.
Yes, quite. I'm afraid I forgot to mention something. Eager to get to the task, I suppose, or distracted by memories. My sire told me he will want to start with the interrogation tomorrow.
Good. I go into my book and write that down.
He wouldn't be pleased if I forgot that.
Fair enough. And I'll actually take the notebook out in front of him and write it down, since I now know that he knows. Noted. Oh. Shall we continue?
Let's. And you head through the hotel. Just to check in quickly on time, Dolores, I know we're supposed to finish soon. Would it be okay if we did your conversation with Daniel at the start of next session and finish this bit for a bear?
Yes.
All right. Okay. We will do that then. So you continue. And you go through another rooms. You see Anna Maria, Mihail's child, who's running down one of the corridors. And she's running with someone you don't really recognize. Doesn't like spark any sort of feeling or recognition. A tall blonde man in a grey suit. And they're just running, and as you're looking at the scene, someone covered in blood, waving a shovel, comes across the way, and they stop, and the man pins the assailant with his gaze and says something, and then takes out a dagger and goes in, no hesitation, and stabs that man with a shovel several times until his body falls into torpor. And then you see Anna Maria is just shocked, like almost screaming, and you see the man just grabs her hand and starts pulling her away. You see in another place a man you do recognize, associated with the smell of blood and with fear and with tension, with white facial hair, a brown leather coat with some fur, and a white tunic embroidered with red threads, who's walking, carrying Dominic effortlessly over his shoulder. And in another space, you also see Bruno kneeling over an unmoving body of a man you recognize, you've seen near him, you've seen following him. And Bruno is kneeling over him, holding his shoulders, looking ahead, and you see his eyes are full of anger, but it's very controlled, very cold. Anger and disdain. You don't see anything it is directed in. It's just there, and you see his whole body is shaking with this anger in him and frustration as he bites into his hand and puts some blood into the man's mouth. And as the last noteworthy scene among the other scenes of people running away, getting into fights.
I think I linger a bit longer on the version of Bruno, and there's a bit of grief in my chest for Mother, for who she lost, and just he was familiar to me. And he's not here anymore. I don't quite remember what happened, but I know he's not here anymore. And I will inform Joachim in a slightly softer voice of what I see.
He just nods. He also describes some things to you as you, usually confirming, filling in some of the details in what I described. You do see more scenes of people getting slaughtered. You do see the same man you saw carrying Dominic out. You see him walk in with Arek at his side at some point, and then walking along the corridor, him saying something, the man saying something very calmly, and Arek just listening eagerly.
I take some comfort in the fact that I presume that Arek's staked in a basement somewhere.
Yes, that is the assumption to have.
There's not much comfort I can take out of this, but I'll take that.
But it's good to know. It's a comforting thought to you. And eventually you finish your task with Joachim. He feels like, I think we've had enough. I need to sort through it all and put together some sort of description for my sire.
Well, best of luck with your report. And do let me know if you need anything. I can remember things. It just takes a bit more effort.
I kind of hesitates for a moment and, well, I suppose I will remember what we just saw for both of us. Not much need forcing yourself to remember that in most cases.
Well, I like to make sure I still can.
I understand. I'm sorry for prying into this.
It is what it is, and I
It's,
suppose working together, it's at least useful for you to be aware of.
I suppose that's what was decided. And I was told, but...
Indeed. Well, I'm sorry you have to remember everything. Sounds like a terrible burden.
It comes in handy, I suppose.
Yes, I imagine it does.
Certainly my sire thinks so.
Yeah.
I will find you tomorrow in the Elysium to take you to where my sire will be.
Very well. I'll see you tomorrow then.
Thank you for your help. It was good to have someone to do it with.
Of course. Just glad this evening went a bit smoother than yesterday.
So am I, believe me.
Yes.
But that's in the past.
Indeed. Take care of yourself.
Yes. And you are left on your own. What are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Was a part of me that was a little stressed that, well, I suppose more than a little stressed that somebody told Joachim about my memory problems. And the fact that I presume it was somebody that I've previously told. That something there feels uncomfortable. Given how much I try to not let people know about it unless... I mean, I don't mind him knowing. I like working with him, but I guess it's the principle. I guess I'm also tired and worn out from helping with the task, but I feel good that I was able to be useful, and I'm actually slightly dreading being left to my own devices. I like being busy, even if it's unpleasant tasks. I suppose I then get left with my thoughts as I'm trying to forget what I just saw. I'm left with thoughts of Antoni. I was happy to hear that he was glad that we were still around. And I just focus on that more normal conversation.
And I think we will finish for tonight because we need to have a slightly shorter session. But we will pick up next time with Janina and Daniel and what they get up to. Thank you so much for everyone who's been watching. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you for running.
Yes, thank you.
We will be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully now sticking to regular schedule. And that will be 8th of November. It will be the same time, 6:30 p.m. I think it will be GMT by then because the clocks will change. So we hope to see you here again on the Lamias channel to continue the story of Janina and Bea. Have a lovely evening, good night, and see you in 2 weeks.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.